Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this new episode of the NSSL StarCraft League. Today we're going to cast a PvP match between Nobody and Hippypower. We're starting the replay in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, with me today is Albert. Hi Albert, how are you?
Hello Frank, I'm very glad to be back and to cast another replay. This time a PvP. I think this is the first PvP I've casted this tournament. How about you?
Yes, I think it's the first one as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think no, actually no, it's not. I've casted PvPs before. I remember some 4 gates going down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yesterday with my brother Wim.
Ah, really? Yes. Of course, Staldrim Altar is a really good map for 4 gates, as we all know.
Yes, and we all know why, because there's no height difference between the main and the natural, so stalkers can see up and down, I wanted to say. They can see from point A to point B, so there's no difficulty with getting vision of any high ground, so you can do a 4-gate and attack just straight up.
Yeah, exactly. And also the ramp it's not only on the same level, but also it's very large. So you can't just put down 1 force field like normal. You have to put down 2. So that costs extra energy for the sentries.
Right. Hey, we're seeing a bit of a deviation. Nobody wasn't making a probe for a while. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or... Yeah, I guess it was a mistake because he's continuing probe production now. We see the first warp gate gateway go down for Hippypower.
Yeah, just a little bit later, it's also followed by the gateway for Nobody. So, yeah, the same build, but Nobody seems to be a little bit behind.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's really doing any different from... Oh, well, this is... the Nobody jokes are coming up again.
Yeah, here we're starting again.
Alright. We see Hippypower's probe now making its way into Nobody's base, and he's going to be pleased to see that there's no forages or no buildings at all. So both players are just playing standard. But we see quite a significant supply lead for Hippypower at this stage of the game. He's at 15, whereas Nobody's only at 12.
Yeah, Nobody seems to be a little bit shorter on his probes. He seems to be stopping his probe production. I don't know why that is exactly. Also, if you look at his Nexus, he has all his Chrono Boost saved up.
Right, and he's also got quite a bit of money. So I guess it's just a matter of not macroing as hard as he could. Now we see the cybernetic score for both players at pretty much the same time.
Yeah. Now the gas for Hippypower is going down. That's a bit late. Normally you would start the gas before the cybernetic score, I presume. We see that Nobody is already mining some gas. He already has a lot of saved up. So, well, we'll see what he plans to do with all the gas.
Oh, alright, the probe by Hippypower that was hiding in the third if Nobody gets scouted. Nobody was very diligent with his scouting. He went around with his probe to check for pylons everywhere, and now there's a zealot hacking away at the probe, but oh, is he? Ah, and the probe falls.
It's gonna get down, yes. Yeah. So, and also here are 2 probes moving out for Nobody now. Perhaps he is just a little bit nervous that one might be spotted. Also 2 probes from Hippypower moving down, by the way. That's really funny.
I've never seen this. This is very odd.
He now moves 1 back, and he's getting an expansion already. That seems a bit risky.
That is quite risky, yes. Yeah, he hasn't really seen much in Nobody's base, so... Yeah, Nobody's supply block, by the way. Pretty heavily... Oh, no, wait, no, it just resolved. But now we see the 2... Is this like a missed rally, or is there something that I don't know about?
Yeah, he's just going straight into the base of Hippypower. That's really strange.
But no, he doesn't have like 4 gateways that he's going to use to warp in or anything. These are just 2 probes chilling out.
They're just sitting there, yeah. Base. But they did get a scout off of the Nexus, I believe, so he knows that there's not going to be a 4-gate.
That's true, but well, yeah.
Hippypower just placed another probe, by the way, at the same spot where his other probe was found. He just thought, well, he's not going to check here twice. Right. He's going to hide behind these rocks.
He really wants to see if Nobody's taken his 3rd early, whereas he doesn't even have his natural yet. Well, it doesn't even. Usually, Protoss players don't have a natural by this time in the game at 5 minutes. But yeah, Hippypower is going for it. I'm not sure if he'll be able to defend it, but yeah, well, seeing as how his macro has been a bit better than Nobody's, maybe he can pull it off.
Yeah, and
pylon going down for Hippypower.
Yeah, because he's also put down 3 gateways, so I think we see an expansion and then some 4-gate action. So it's gonna be a delayed 4 gates to put up the expansion. There's also now a probe transfer. Yeah, he seems to want to put some pressure on, but not really commit.
But at the same time, nobody's is moving out though, and he's bringing a probe with him, and some stalkers joining up. He's also now got well, he's got 3 gateways, so he's going for the 3-gate pressure, see if he can do some damage. And usually you try to expand off of that. But yeah, well, Hippypower's got 4 gates up, and he's got his expansion, so he's in the lead significantly, I'd say.
Yeah, he's got less forces, of course, but now that he's warped in units and he can warp in more. Here comes the attack now. Oh, the first zealots are getting shot. There's one force field, but it's not the best. And all these units of Hippypower are actually going down right now.
Dying, and his gateways, his warp gates have finished, so he can warp in some new units. But yeah.
Well, there's not a lot of real damage dealers in this army now. The stalkers, there's extra reinforcements, and it seems like Hippypower is gonna hold this off.
Yeah, he held it off. Yeah,
it was a bit risky.
Nobody didn't really reinforce it right there, but now there's 3 more stalkers coming in. But I think that in the end, well, now it's 3 gates against 4, and Hippypower will be able to just power off his 4 gates. So while he's behind now in units, he should be able to catch up. And there's not a lot of micro going on now, so
I think so. Yeah, extra zealots are being warped in now. Yeah. So if nobody can reinforce this quickly, there's also no micro for the stalkers. Here's a little bit of micro pulling back the weak stalkers, but it seems like the reinforcements come. No, Hippypower's got to move back up the hill now.
Hippypower's not really. Let's see, how are his warp gates? They're all available right now, but he's not warping in units. Maybe because he doesn't have money, and maybe that's because he's warping in additional warp gates. This is a very precarious situation. If nobody continues to reinforce from his 3 gates, while Hippypower doesn't have money to use his 4 gates, then he might still be in a bit of a problem. Still have a bit of a problem. But missed force fields there, or not really missed, but he only had 1, so that's not enough to capture those zealots.
No, but the pressure is still... nobody's not ready. It's not finished with the putting on the pressure yet. It seems like he's keeping on reinforcements.
And he's
not going home. Yeah, he's adding 2 gates as well. But I think that now Hippypower has 3 sentries. He should be able to force field half of the army out, and it shouldn't be a problem. But it takes some micro.
If we look at the units tab, it's 32 probes over 17. That is a major advantage. I think that if nobody wants to do anything in this game, he's got to do it now. Because if we look at the army tab, he's also behind in army supply. So
it's an observer coming right now for Hippypower, and after that he's going to be able to put down a few immortals, and they should really make the difference. And now Hippypower is targeting this pylon from the high ground, which is a really great step. No more reinforcements for the moment.
Nobody's gonna have to pull back, and I wonder if we're gonna see this pylon by Hippypower in the 3rd of nobody come into play. Maybe Hippypower thinks, well, I'm safe for now, I might as well just warp in some zealots and really force nobody to return to his base, and I can really get my economy up to speed. We see that he's got his 3rd assimilator running, but there's only 2 probes in it. But well, again, if we look at the units tab, it's more than double the amount of probes, and he's producing them 2 at a time. And it looks like nobody's going to expand now. Yes, he's gearing up to take his expansion, but it's going to be so late that I don't think that he's going to be able to get back in this game, really.
In the meantime, Hippypower has moved out to the watchtower, and I don't know... Yeah, he can see the army standing there.
And there's 4 stalkers in the natural of nobody from the pylon.
So he's going to put up a lot of pressure right now, I think. Because he sees the army is out of position, so he can just move in and take so many probes down.
Oh, he's gonna try and snipe these 2 pylons. If he gets these 2 pylons, then pretty much all of nobody's buildings are unpowered. But no,
he's going back.
He's going for the guaranteed damage, sniping some probes. And now nobody's down to 14, now 13 probes.
This is gonna be really hard.
11 probes, and there's the GG.
There's the GG, yeah. It was a really hard game, of course, after... Hippypower was able to put down his Nexus, and he was able to defend it without much problem. Yeah, that nobody was in a really bad spot.
Nobody was indeed. Alright, we're going to see which map nobody chooses for the 2nd game, and see you in a bit.